It's an exciting day at the shop. We just got delivery yesterday of a whole set of Hutchinson Rock Monster wheels. This morning, Dad ran and got all the tires unmounted from the wheels that we had currently, and brought them back so we could assemble these wheels this morning and then go get them balanced. We got them on a pallet, and we're gonna unpackage them now and see what they look like, and then we'll assemble one together. I'll set the camera up and we can get the wheel propped up on some wood and put one together so you all can see how it goes together. Very cool wheels. Have been my wife's favorite for many years. They're a double beadlock, so the inner and the outer ring are both secured, which is really unusual these days. Hutchinson Rock Monster. Manual, there it is. Full instructions. Oh, and even tools that you would need if you're even taking the tire off yourself. Sweet. Center cap. Nice. And they got foam around the ring of the wheel. That's cool for shipping. There's the two-piece design. Whew. Oh, it says DOT on the side. These are DOT approved beadlock wheels, one of the very few. Here's the bottom half of the wheel. That sort of reminds me of the run flat on the old military Hemet wheels.
Got it.
Truck wheels that had the internal run flats, but this is what secures the bead in between the two sections of the wheel. You got the inner and the outer section, and this goes over in between the two beads of the tire, and we'll go over that when we get to the installation phase. And it pinches the tire bead on each side of the wheel. Pretty awesome. And these are around 53 to 55 pounds each. There's the O-ring. It has an O-ring that goes in between the two halves, of course, so you don't lose air pressure. Have to make sure that's secure as you put the wheel together. And the hardware. So now I'm gonna go set the camera up and we're gonna put a tire on. Okay. So we got the inner part of the wheel supported on some 2x4s, and a 2x4 and a 2x6 actually. And now we're gonna assemble the O-ring, which you start, I'll actually bring this down here. You start and you bring the portion of the O-ring nearest you at 6 o'clock on the clock, and you bring your thumbs around evenly to the top, and then that top section will snap into place. They say be careful not to roll the O-ring because then it'll roll right back out. And once it's in place, make sure there's no debris. Then we're gonna bring the tire over here. Now I gotta get this intersection in. Oh, nice. Awesome. And this goes in between the beads of your tires. Takes a little bit of muscle to get in there. And then we're just gonna have to hold this up evenly as we lift the tire up, so just get it even onto that lower section. Awesome. Perfect. Now, all you have to do is take the outer section, and carefully while you're watching this, make sure the O-ring doesn't fall out. There are these 4 longer studs that they, very, very well-engineered idea. These allow you to get the wheel started and squeezed down to assemble it. Otherwise, you see all these shorter studs, you'd never be able to get these bolts on without a lot of pressure. So these longer studs allow you to put 4 of these bolts on. Yeah, those are cool nuts. They're like self-locking or something. And then you'll torque these down, going opposite around the wheel to squeeze the two sections together. And then you'll put the rest of the bolts onto the rest of the studs, and you'll tighten all of them in a star pattern to 100 foot-pounds. watching to make sure that the O-ring doesn't fall out. Now we're gonna tighten all the rest of the bolts in a star pattern. I'm gonna put this up here and run this in fast motion. And we'll torque them all to 100 foot-pounds. The air now, air it up, make sure we don't have any leaks, and then we got 3 more. And then we're off to the tire shop to get everything balanced. And we'll see how much weight it takes to balance these. Oh yeah, the spare. I don't hear anything.
It looks good.
Splinter. A splinter. There's a thorn.
Pretty solid.
I don't hear any leak. That's awesome. And these are 17 by 8.5 inch wheels with a 5.3 inch backspacing, did they?
5.5.
5.5.
And they absolutely fit perfect on that front.
So finally, this will properly clear the steering. The other wheels were 5.7 backspacing, which was good to tuck the tires in, but it was really close. It was just on this knuckle. So we ground as much as we dared off of the steering knuckle where the tie rod comes in. And we have some new boots and solutions for keeping the grease on the tie rod end as well.
There on the ground now.
That's pretty exciting. These wheels are going to clear it perfect. Now let's go balance them after we get the rest of them put together. And here we are with the Hutchinson Rock Monster wheels installed. They really look amazing. You just kind of sit there and kind of take it in. They're very impressive, very beefy. It's a very different look from the other wheels that we had, and I am glad that Dad went with, I can't remember the official name, the light silver finish on the wheels. It matches the decals and the trail rated badge, which is really neat. The lug nuts we chose to put the wheels on are actually, since these wheels have a flat portion where the bolts, the lug nuts tighten, they don't have a dish, like a lug nut would seat into a dish. These are flat, so we used actually lug nuts off of the Ford that these axles are actually from, and they have an awesome self-locking washer on the bottom, and you know, it's flat as well, so that worked extremely well. Got some wheel locks to ensure that these hopefully don't ever leave the Jeep without our permission. The wheels and tires, we got them balanced. Used very little weight on all of the wheels except for one, which happened to be, I think, a tire issue. Because most of the balancing on these, the wheel in question we had previously had the other wheels with that same tire had heavy weight on them as well, so I think that's just a tire issue. The back spacing on these wheels is about 0.4 inches, 0.3 inches less, which would push the tire out just slightly more, which actually was perfect, clearing our tie rod, which we had had issues with before with the other wheels at the 5.7 inch back spacing. We had to use a spacer, just a small shim spacer on the front wheels to keep this tie rod out from scraping the edge of the rim on the inside. These wheels actually clear it perfectly with a breath in between the knuckle and the wheel. Very excited. Took it out on the road. It drives incredible, extremely smooth. No out of roundness. The wheels run extremely true. Couldn't be happier. We can't wait to get off road, air the tires down to 3 or 4 PSI and see how some real proper grip feels like with this Jeep. It's gonna be an amazing experience, I'm sure. We've never had beadlocks in our family before, so it's very, very exciting. The one downside to the wheels is they are about, it's probably about 20 pounds heavier per wheel, 18 pounds heavier per wheel than the wheels we had taken off. I think we're in the upper 30s, and these are in the mid 50 pounds. or just over 50 pounds per wheel. But as far as ride, the Jeep rides exactly the same. We don't feel any negative effects from the unsprung weight. We already have 1 tons under it, so I'm sure the little bit added weight doesn't really make much of a difference, but it's something to consider that your tires and wheels, your package will be a little bit heavier, but it's weight on the ground, more stability, and weight means the edge of those rims is extremely robust. Definitely not going to have any issues bashing these into rocks. We look forward to getting out on the trail in the next month. Hopefully we want to go and get some good trail footage and really see what this Jeep can do. And I'm going to do another video also in the future on the completed hydraulic assist setup with the tapped box and pump. It really works incredible. Got a proper custom steering box, a Mercedes box from the same kind of Jeep, except it's been modified to have an 8-inch stroke to match this Dana 50 front end, and an 8-inch stroke ram as well. Drives amazing now, extremely tight. Turns completely left and completely right to the stops, which is very exciting. We had an issue with that before because of the shorter stroke of the Jeep box. We could only turn partially to the left, which kind of gave us some frustrating fits on the trail when we couldn't turn the way we wanted to. So anyway, hope y'all enjoy the video, and you've got to try these wheels out. They're incredible. Save up, be able to put your own tires on, be able to air down, have a double beadlock, never lose your inner bead. Very, very excited. Hope y'all have a great day. Take care.